Hello everyone, welcome to another ranking video. Today I will be doing a ranking for the 5 Spider-Man movies, or no, 6. Yeah, my bad. The 6 Spider-Man movies. Now this has been highly requested. I'm not sure why in particular, why this series out of anything, but if you look at all my other rankings I've done recently, people have been leaving comments. Can you rank the Spider-Man movies? So, yeah, now, obviously, the Spider-Man movies, there's been 3 different incarnations of the character. There was Tobey Maguire in the Sam Raimi trilogy. There was Andrew Garfield in the Mark Webb duology, I guess you could call it. And there's been Tom Holland, who's played Spider-Man 3 times now. Now, I'm not going to include Infinity War in this, or Civil War, because those aren't Spider-Man movies, necessarily. So this is strictly just movies that literally are, Spider-Man films. Not including, any animated or stuff like that. Obviously just the live-action movies. So, yeah, there's been 6 dedicated just to Spider-Man. So anyways, let's go into it. So starting off is Spider-Man 3. What a surprise. As the least best, of course. So Spider-Man 3, let me see if I can find it in here. There it is. I don't hate this movie. I never hated it. Even when I remember when I first saw it, I thought it was actually really good. Now that was back in 2007, and I was only 11 years old, so there you go. Spider-Man 3 obviously has a million problems. The main one being there's too many villains. Sandman, I thought he was great. I wish there was more of him in the movie. His story, the performance, everything about him was awesome. Venom was just kind of thrown in there, of course, but he looked pretty cool, and a lot of people didn't like Topher Grace as Venom, which I can understand. But he was an okay Eddie Brock, I guess. I don't know, he was a jerk, but... and then also you had James Franco as the, I guess, Hobgoblin, or whatever, the new Green Goblin, whatever. That stuff was kind of a mess, and you had emo Peter Parker. Everyone knows Spider-Man 3 just is bad. They had the whole... I like this whole thing in the movie, the whole black suit thing. But the thing with it that they kind of screwed up was Peter Parker himself. Like, he had the fringe haircut, he was acting like a jerk, he was walking around dancing. That whole... I don't know what they were thinking. Because Spider-Man 2 was really good, which you'll see later on in this video, when I talk about that movie. And it's like, I don't know what happened. Now, I've heard that Sam Raimi didn't want to make the movie exactly like this, the way it came out. It's just something, I guess the studio maybe interfered or something, but I don't know. So everyone knows Spider-Man 3 is just like, it's garbage. But there's some good stuff in there, like I said. Sandman's awesome. The black suit stuff is good when it is good. And, some of the dramatic stuff with James Franco is good, I guess. But I don't know. Spider-Man 3 is just a mixed bag. So that's in last place. Now, coming in at 5th place, this might be a little upsetting to some people, I assume, would be the first Amazing Spider-Man. Now, the reason I put this one so low is because I never really, loved this movie. I thought it was just kind of whatever. The Lizard was probably my biggest problem with it. Not that, the performance was bad or anything. I thought the guy who played him was okay. It's not memorable at all. Easily the most forgettable Spider-Man movie, in my opinion, is this one. Now, Spider-Man 3 is worse, definitely, but I don't hate that movie or anything. But I would much rather watch Spider-Man 3 than this, to be honest. I don't remember much about this one. There's some good stuff with Dennis Leary as Gwen Stacy's dad. And Gwen Stacy herself was awesome, but I'll get to that in Spider-Man, or Amazing Spider-Man 2. And like I said, most people would probably expect me to put Amazing Spider-Man 2 below this one. No, actually, I kind of like that one a little more than this. No, I'll get to that in a second. You're probably thinking I'm crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just this movie, I like the cover, and it looks cool. I don't know. Andrew Garfield was cool Spider-Man. He's not my favorite, though. A lot of people, love Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I don't, love him as Spider-Man. I thought he was good. But, I don't know. In my opinion, Tom Holland is easily the best. I'm not sure how many people are going to be mad about... I can't speak. How many people are going to be mad about that comment, but... Tobey Maguire is good. Andrew Garfield's good. But Tom Holland is, perfect as Peter Parker. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. I just... I don't... I don't know. This movie it was well directed. You know, it was shot well. Special effects were good, but I don't know. I don't know. I just don't really have much feeling for that movie. All right, coming in at fourth place is Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, yes, this movie has a ton of problems. They have way too many villains. It's got the Spider-Man 3 issue, sort of, with all the villains and all the unnecessary stuff going on, and they were trying to set up a cinematic universe, blah, blah, blah. But I enjoyed this movie with mainly because of the dynamic of Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker's relationship, and then also, you know, Harry coming in at the end, and, you know, there's some tragedy. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But that scene was well executed, the tragic scene I'm referring to. The visuals and everything about that were awesome. But the rest of the movie is a mess, I will agree. You know, Jamie Foxx's Electro, a lot of people did not like that, but I thought his character was entertaining, at least. You know, the Rhino was just kind of thrown in there, of course. But I don't know. I don't hate this movie. It's definitely better than Spider-Man 3, like I said, and I like it slightly more than Amazing Spider-Man 1, just because I can actually, like, recall everything that happened in this. Now, there's a lot of dumb stuff in it, though, like with, you know, the guy that kills Peter Parker's parents at the beginning. That whole scene is, like, kind of dumb. Like, I don't know how he didn't, you know what I mean? Like, how, there's a reviewer named Confused Matthew, and he is one of my favorite movie reviewers ever, because, like, he's so funny. Anytime there's something stupid, he literally destroys it in his reviews. Watch his review for this movie and his breakdown of that scene of his parents, you know, getting killed on the airplane or whatever. His breakdown of that scene is, like, hilarious. I can't do it justice. So look him up, Confused Matthew. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. This movie's a mess as well, but I don't hate it, and I can sit down and enjoy it when I do watch it, which isn't that often. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's a mess. All right, so only half the Spider-Man movies are bad. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. All right, so coming in at third place, right, is going to be the first Spider-Man. Now, this movie, you know, it's very nostalgic for me, because I believe the first DVD we ever owned, my family, was the first Spider-Man. It was either that or the first Fast and Furious. I talked about that in the Fast and Furious ranking. So I watched the first Spider-Man at a super young age. It was only like a year or two, or maybe even a year after the first movie came out, or should I say this movie came out. So I was like really young, like 5 or 6 maybe. Yeah, Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin is so cheesy and crazy and over the top. I love it. But this movie is it hasn't aged well. Spider-Man, the whole Spider-Man trilogy by Sam Raimi has not aged well, okay? Like, we can all acknowledge this. These movies are cheesy. The extras in these movies are, you know, especially in Spider-Man 2. The extras in that movie, like the background people, are so cheesy and I don't know. But it's good fun, though. Like, this movie's very nostalgic for me. That's really why I like it that much. It's an okay movie. But, yeah, it's just really Willem Dafoe. And then also the Randy Savage cameo was great. You know, as Bonesaw. Yeah, I don't know. Just early 2000s, you know, it's one of my favorite decades. Well, not the 2000s overall, just mainly the early 2000s. One of my favorite decades ever. Yeah, just really nostalgic for me. That's mainly why I like it that much. But the first Spider-Man's kind of an average movie. Just a basic origin movie. But it's one of the first ones they ever did, so yeah. So Spider-Man is in third place. Now, here we go. It's the debate for me. Do I like Spider-Man Homecoming or Spider-Man 2 the best? Now, I've really sat and thought about this, and I've come to the decision that I like Spider-Man 2 the best, which I'll explain after this. Alright, so coming in at second place is Spider-Man Homecoming. By the way, guys, I bought these plastic protector things for my steelbooks. Well worth the investment. Please do this, because my steelbooks get scratched easily. This is not an advertisement or anything. I'm just, like, recommending this in general. I bought these off eBay, like a pack of 50. I actually have so many steelbooks, I had to buy 2 packs of 50. But these cases are... I can't recommend them enough. Please do this. If you have a lot of steelbooks, just buy these. But anyways, Spider-Man Homecoming. Tom Holland, obviously great as Spider-Man. We saw him in Civil War. The little bit that he was in there was awesome. So I was really looking forward to this movie. And yeah, I'm not going to lie though, when I first saw it, I didn't love it. but after watching it many, many times, I really do love this movie. Michael Keaton was a great villain. You know, Robert Downey Jr. was in there, not much, but when he was in there, it was good. You know, you got Zendaya in there, Jon Favreau, Marissa Tomei. There's a great supporting cast, and also his friend Ned Leeds was a great sidekick, sort of. Yeah, this whole movie was really awesome. Childish Gambino's in there as well. Yeah, I don't know. Spider-Man Homecoming. Everyone knows it's awesome. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next. So, yeah, Tom Holland did a great job in his own movie. Yeah. Alright, anyways, coming in at first place, like I said, was Spider-Man 2. Now, the main reason I have this one at number 1 is because the Dr. Octopus thing, his whole arc was awesome. He's always been a great villain, in my opinion. You know, there's a lot of great dramatic stuff with Peter losing his powers, stuff going on with Mary Jane. You know, he had to kind of break up with her. Also, oh, and she was going to get married or whatever to Jameson's son, randomly. That's my only complaint. They didn't really develop his character enough, sort of. He was just kind of thrown in there. Oh, by the way, I need to mention, J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson in all 3 of these movies is, like, my favorite casting ever. Aside from, like, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. That is, like, the best, like, comic book adaptation ever. Or character adaptation, I should say. And I really do hope he comes back as J. Jonah Jameson in, like, the new Spider-Man movie somehow. Like, they could just, you know, have the same actor again. Even though he's doing DC, you know, as Gordon. But, yeah, I need to point that out. J.K. Simmons is awesome in all 3 of these movies. But anyways, Spider-Man 2, it is a very cheesy movie, just like the first Spider-Man, with, you know, all the extras in the background. You know, oh, look, a web. Oh, go, Spidey, go! Like, you know what I mean, exactly. That one extra in particular. And then the one scene where, you know, he has to stop the train, that's pretty powerful. He takes his mask off, and all the New Yorkers are, like, you know, carrying him, and then they put his mask, and give him back his mask. Yeah, I don't know, Spider-Man 2's just got a lot of great drama in it. Like I said, Dr. Octopus is, like, the main reason I think this movie's awesome. His character was great. The portrayal by Alfred Molina, that's his name, right? Was good. So, yeah, Spider-Man 2, just overall, I think is a better movie than Homecoming. Mainly for the emotional stuff in it. And yeah, it's just really good, I think. It still holds up to this day. Some of the special effects aren't, you know, that great still, but I remember back when this came out, it was like, whoa, look at those things. Like, you would think they're real. Yeah, Spider-Man 2, awesome. So that's my ranking right there. Let me know your guys' ranking. Do you agree or disagree with anything I said? I assume some people aren't going to like my placement of Amazing Spider-Man 1. And also, who's your favorite Spider-Man? Let me know. So, yeah, thanks for watching this, guys, and have a good one. Bye-bye.